Hi, this is Matt with State of Flex, here with a review for the film that I think is thus far the best film of 2022. Now, some of you who have come here probably already know what this movie is called, but if you're just clicking into this video kind of unsure of what it is, you might be sitting there trying to figure out what the title even is. Is it R? Is it R? How do you pronounce this? Well, it is RRR. RRR stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt. It is an Indian film in the Hindi language that was released theatrically earlier this year on March 25th. I work at a theater and it was playing at that. I just couldn't justify carving out the time to see this on the theatrical level because it is a long film. It is around 3 hours in length, over 3 hours in length. With a newborn baby, I just couldn't justify it. That said, that is going to be one of the biggest regrets of my cinematic lifescape, because this film is unparalleled in how gorgeous it is. The cinematography in this film is absolutely stunning. The action, everything about this movie is incredible. Now, what is RRR about? RRR, Rise, Roar, Revolt, is the meeting of two political figures, revolutionary figures for India. And it's sort of this hyper-stylized historical fiction, fantasy, action drama that is punctuated by some pretty epic musical and dance numbers. And I cannot stress how incredibly well made this film is. If you were not hooked by the action battle in the first 20 minutes where one of the main characters has a fist fight with a tiger, you're definitely going to be hooked by the time the train wreck happens and the title crawls onto the screen at the 40-minute mark. That train wreck sequence is one of the most vibrant action beats I've ever seen in cinematic history, in all honesty. It reminded me of an early Robert Rodriguez movie with the frenetic energy of the action, or early John Woo movie, or even like the stylized, like the Sam Raimi vibes that you get from a lot of his better or more notable works. This filmmaker, I usually don't do this with my reviews, but as it is an Indian film, I want to make sure I grasp the names. The director of this film is S.S. Rajamouli, and he does incredible work with this film. And to tell this story, which is the meeting of these two revolutionary figures, this is a fictitious story. It didn't happen. The way that you sell this, the way that you manifest a cultural icon such as the way that this film does, I think this director understands the core concept of how to build a legend. And he borrows, in kind of brilliant ways, techniques that you get from the artistry of storytelling through through stories like the Iliad and the Odyssey, where everything is accentuated, everything is larger than life. The dissection of, like, there's a great part in the Iliad that dissects Achilles' shield, and this is a shield that could never be. It is something that is described with such intricate detail that shield would have to be 20 feet big and like this grand mural, but it is described as only that of a shield. And the storytelling that goes there is just building a monolith of a legend, and that is exactly what this film does with these characters, and or these figures. And I would love to see this filmmaker go on and work with, like, if he were to ever come stateside or make a big co-production, I would like him to see tackle something like the Iliad and bring that to life, or the Odyssey, or any number of those hero myths, or if he wants to work with like our modern mythology, which is that of Marvel or DC, I would be happy to see that. This dude has energy and stylized action that is unparalleled by anybody working today. Just solely from this movie, and I can't wait to research and go through this dude's film catalog. He impressed me that much. But it's not only him that's impressive. I'm whipping out my phone again because I want to highlight two other people, the two main stars, Ram Charan and N.T. Rama Rao Jr. are the two main actors. And N.T. Rama Rao Jr. plays Bhim, or Bahim. He is fantastic. He is sort of the soul, the moral soul of the film. He's the good guy through and through, and you're following him. And he's very good throughout the film. He has the moments that can touch on comedic. He has a romantic subplot, as you do with these films, that's really quite lovely, where he gets to, this is set during the 1920s when India was still under British rule and whatnot, and he kind of has a thing with one of the British lasses, and their like romance has got some strong comedy elements to it. He's really good at hitting all those moments, as well as the action, as well as the... And he doesn't look like he should be an action star, but he owns it whenever he is in an action sequence. But his dramatic ability is quite strong. And then you have the first guy that I mentioned, Ram Charan, who plays the character of Ram in the movie, and this dude is like a god. He is like ripped, ridiculously, just profoundly good looking, and he sort of has like this Hindi Henry Cavill quality to him, where like you believe this dude is Superman. He is just that good, but he's sort of the oftentimes the villain of the film, but he's also thrust into heroic positions throughout the thing, and his story element has lots of twists and turns going for it, and his character is the most compelling thing I've seen in cinema, shy of Everything Everywhere All at Once in quite a while, in terms of action cinema. His character is just spectacular. His performance is extraordinary, and this dude just oozes cool. He has one of the first big musical numbers where he just comes in and is just simply the coolest thing that's ever happened on cinema. I cannot express to you how incredibly great this film is. It is 3 hours long, but it is on Netflix, so that's how I got a chance to watch it, and I urge you to do it as well. This movie, also, by design, can be watched in piecemeal. It has chapters, and at a certain point, at the 40-minute mark, the chapters go away, but there are clear spots where if you must pause, you can, and you will not lose any of the momentum, because the movie just keeps picking it up, and so... yeah, and like the action is just so over the top, so absurd, but that's what you kind of need when you're developing a tall tale of these cultural icons. You are trying to heroify these real people to become something more than, and this film understands that in ways that I've not really seen put to film really ever. As I say, the closest I could come up to it was my experience while reading the Iliad and the Odyssey back in high school. This movie is easily the best film of 2022. I would be shocked if this film does not make my top 5 by year's end, and I hope against all hope that this film is remembered for the Best International Film category for the Oscars, because I think this movie needs even more notoriety and needs to be thrust out there so that everybody has access to it. It is so good. Stop what you're doing right now if you haven't watched it yet and watch this movie. And I'm going to be going through this director's catalog. He is fantastic. And if this is his magnum opus, if this is his masterpiece and everything that he's done has led to this film, hot damn, this was a great movie for me to enter in on. But I find personally that a lot of filmmakers' best creative efforts come early on in their career when they're very hungry and wanting to prove themselves. So I'm excited to go back and look at some of his older work. Anything that I have access to, and luckily Netflix seems to have dropped a bunch of Hindi films, so hopefully some of his are among them. I think some of them in fact look like they were, so I will hope to have a couple more reviews from this filmmaker. But have you watched RRR? Were you as blown away as I was? Hot damn, do I regret not seeing this in a theater. This would have been so good to see on the big screen, and you know, maybe come fingers crossed Oscar season, it will pick up some momentum once more. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the film down below, and if you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing? It's on Netflix. Go right now. It's so good. Enjoy the film. It is a hard R movie. It is very violent, but you'll be fine. Watch the movie. It's heightened violence, so you'll be cool. Enjoy the film. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.